October 2, 2018. It was the afternoon and there was a slight chill in Istanbul, Turkey. The noise was as common as the noise outside the consulate in Saudi Arabia, which is located in the Besiktas area. In the meantime, at exactly 1:14 p.m. in the afternoon, a Saudi journalist, Jamal fiancé Hadi Singh, that he had come to collect divorce documents related to his previous marriage so that he could legally marry Hadi Singh as soon as possible. What could he do? Jamal Khashoggi told Hattis to wait outside and went inside the consulate. Hattis thought that this is just a matter of a few minutes, Jamal will come out with the documents and both will return together. But he did not know that something was going to happen to Jamal Khashoggi in the four walls of the consulate, which he had not even imagined in his worst nightmare. Many hours pass while waiting for Hattis Sengiz, but Jamal Khashoggi does not come out. Then the staff and then the Turkish president's advisor, Yasin Aktay, contacts him. But no one can tell where Jamal Khashoggi went and what happened to him. The sudden disappearance of a world-famous journalist from the Saudi consulate in the daytime was a heavy burden on the Turkish government. In such a few days, some audio tapes are found in the hands of the Turkish officials, which shook the whole world. When Jamal Khashoggi reached the Saudi consulate, then the Saudi intelligence officer Mer Mutrabe was heard asking someone on walkie-talkie that the animal to be sacrificed, has he come? Not only that, how many pieces of the body will be cut after the murder in those tapes and how those pieces will be disposed. There is also a discussion on this. This meant that Jamal Khashoggi was killed mercilessly inside the Saudi consulate. State machinery. Jamal Khashoggi, Washington Post writer Jamal Khashoggi murdered inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. Turkish media published the pictures of what they say are the agents sent to kill him. Sky sources have revealed that Jamal Khashoggi's body parts have apparently been found. Breaking news now, police officials in France say they have arrested a man who they claim is a member of the Saudi squad involved in the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. That says the CIA concludes Saudi Crown Prince ordered Jamal Khashoggi's assassination. Jamal Khashoggi was born in a wealthy family in Medina, Saudi Arabia. His ancestors were originally from Turkey, but after getting a better opportunity, they settled in Saudi Arabia. His grandfather, Mohammed Khashoggi, was the personal doctor of Saudi Arabia's founder, Shah Abdul Aziz, and from this time, Jamal Khashoggi's family was very close to the royal family. Secondary education has Jamal Khashoggi, Indiana State University, say journalism. English newspaper. He joined the Saudi Arabian intelligence agency and went to Afghanistan during the Soviet invasion. In Afghanistan, he also reported the ongoing war between the Soviets and the Mujahideen. In Afghanistan, he met Osama bin Laden, a terrorist, and Laden had also interviewed him many times. There was a very good relationship between the two, and it is said that he also tried to remove Laden from the path of terrorism. After returning from Afghanistan, Jamal Khashoggi joined the Saudi Arabian newspaper Al Madina and Arab News and worked as a foreign correspondent in the Middle East and Gulf countries during this time. This improved his geopolitical understanding and he was successful in making his image as an independent journalist. In the beginning, Jamal Khashoggi's, like his ancestor, there were very good relations with the Saudi royal family. Many times he wrote articles in favor of the Saudi king, supported his media initiatives and presented the Saudi policies to the world softly. This closeness was such that he used to work as a media advisor of Prince Turki bin Faisal, who was the head of the General Intelligence Directorate of Saudi Arabia and later became a Saudi ambassador in America. During this time, he had the opportunity to meet the leaders of other countries along with America, and he became popular all over the world. After that, in 2007, he joined the Saudi progressive newspaper as the editor of Al Watan. This was the time when their relationship with the royal family began to deteriorate. Through al-Baden, they sometimes asked women to be given freedom, sometimes raised the issue of freedom of speech, sometimes the king of Saudi with Saudi's regional and domestic policies. But in Saudi Arabia, there was strict state control over the royal family was not only disliked but it was considered to go against the country. Editors and journalists were expected not to go beyond the government's red line. Jamal Khashoggi's fearless writing became the biggest threat to this system. That's why in 2010, the royal family put so much pressure on Al Watan that Jamal Khashoggi had to leave his job. But even after that, Jamal did not stop asking questions. If he had not criticized the Saudi government as a special guest of the international broadcaster, he would have taken support of his social media, especially Twitter. Meanwhile, in the year 2016, in the American presidential election, the Republican Party won the election and became the president of Donald Trump America, the son of King Salman of Saudi Arabia. Donald Trump was very close to Mohammed bin Salman alias MBS, who was working as the defense minister of Saudi Arabia at that time and was known for strict action. He did not like the people who spoke against him at all, and whoever dared to do so, he was removed from the way. But Mohammed bin Salman's son, information is told about the importance of this to the economic situation and political circumstances in the world. The situation in the world is getting out of control. That is why Mohammed bin Salman was very upset with Jamal Khashoggi, but fearlessly Jamal did not have any fear of him, and in December 2016, he was in Al Hayat newspaper in Saudi Arabia. The description below. This column, Donald Trump is also criticized a lot. This thing is so much hidden to Mohammed bin Salman that Jamal Khashoggi is banned from writing, TV appearance and attending any kind of conferences. Not only that, his Twitter account is also banned, and this is why allowed to speak. Jamal Khashoggi's life is in turmoil. Then comes the year 2017, when the tradition that has been going on in Saudi Arabia for decades is also broken. Actually, according to the law of succession of the Saudi royal family, after the king, the throne was given to the king's brother. But King Salman broke the rules. Action. Tana Shahi's newspaper joins the Washington Post as a columnist, now, being fearless in America. He is on a large platform. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's policies start flying. He writes that Mohammed bin Salman has terrorized Saudi Arabia and everyone is living there in the shadow of their fear. He further wrote that he is not against monarchy in Saudi Arabia, just wants reform in the system. In November 2017, when Mohammed bin Salman adopted the Tana Shahi attitude, 200 businessmen printed his newspaper. After arresting the officers and ex-officers, Jamal Khashoggi surrounded Mohammed bin Salman again through his column. He compared this incident to the Night of the Long Knife, in which in the year 1934, on the same night, Hitler had started killing all his rivals. Due to this level of criticism, Jamal Khashoggi had become a thorn in the side for Mohammed bin Salman, which he was not able to take out even if he wanted to, because Jamal was sitting thousands of kilometers away from him in a country where there was complete freedom of speech. There was a fight going on in which there was a powerful crown prince on one side and a journalist on the other side who had the voice to write and pick up the pen. But this voice was sticking to Mohammed bin Salman so much that he gives his special people the task of killing Jamal Khashoggi to silence this voice forever. Jamal Khashoggi, America, but his family was paying the price for his opposition to Mohammed bin Salman while living in Saudi Arabia. The traveling of his family members was stopped, and without the knowledge of the Saudi government, they could not travel anywhere outside the country. Social media was also running a campaign against Jamal Khashoggi, and there they were called cancer, traitor and Zionist. But Jamal Khashoggi, who was unaware of all this, along with writing. In America, in the beginning, Jamal Khashoggi was busy in the process of making love. Once again, a new love had knocked in his life. Actually, Jamal Khashoggi had married 3 times. He married the first time to a woman named Rabia al-Tunisi, with whom he had 4 children, and they all lived in Saudi Arabia. After that, he married a woman named Ala Nasif, and he had 4 children. After this, Jamal Khashoggi went to live in America, and here his heart came to the Hanan al-Attr of Egypt. On June 2, 2018, he married Hanan al-Attr for the 3rd time. But the surprising thing was that Jamal Khashoggi was flirting with another woman during this time. He went to Istanbul, Turkey to participate in a conference in May 2018, just a month before marrying Hanan al-Attr, where he met a PhD scholar named Hattais Cengiz. Despite the presence of Hanan al-Attr, Khashoggi, Hattais Cengiz is caught in his love. The point to note here is that he had already hidden his 3rd wife Hanan al-Attr from the world. Apart from this, Hanan al-Attr did not know about Jamal's new love Hattais Cengiz, and nor did Hattais Cengiz know about his 3rd wife Hanan al-Attr. Despite this, Jamal Khashoggi not only gets engaged to Hattais Cengiz, but also dreams of his 4th marriage. But this marriage dream was going to take him to death soon. Actually, there was a dispute between Jamal Khashoggi and Hattais Cengiz. Khashoggi was from Saudi Arabia, and according to the law there, he could have 4 wives. But Hattais Cengiz was Turkish, and to marry her and to register her in Turkey, the documents required by the Saudi government were those of the divorce documents taken since their 2 wives lived in Saudi Arabia. The documents were to be issued by the Saudi government. In this, on the one hand, where Jamal Khashoggi was involved in any way in the attempts to obtain documents from the Saudi government. On the other hand, the documents were to be special people of Mohammed bin Salman were engaged. In a dangerous conspiracy to kill him, Mohammed bin Salman's people wanted Jamal Khashoggi to come back to Saudi Arabia once and for all so that their work could be completed. For this, in May 2018, Khashoggi received a call from Mohammed bin Salman's confidant, Saad al-Qahtani. Qahtani offered Khashoggi the position of advisor to return to Saudi Arabia, but Khashoggi refused. Saudi Arabia. But a few months later, the opportunity comes to the people of Mohammed bin Salman. In September 2018, Jamal Khashoggi, Mohammed bin Salman's brother, Prince Khalid bin Salman, who was an ambassador in the US at that time, contacted him and talked about his divorce papers. Jamal Khashoggi did not want to go to Saudi Arabia because of the risk of his life. That's why Prince Khalid bin Salman Jamal says that he will get these documents from the Saudi Arabian consulate in Turkey. Jamal Khashoggi has not yet felt any direct threat in Turkey, and his future wife Hatice Cengiz was also from Turkey, so he was ready for it. After that, on September 28, 2018, Jamal Khashoggi reached Istanbul and visited the Saudi consulate, but there they are told that their documents are not ready yet and they will have to come back on October 2, 2018. Because nothing was wrong with Jamal Khashoggi in Istanbul, so their trust in Saudi officials increases. But they did not know that the date of October 2 was not just an appointment, but this day was the last day of their lives, with the trust that they had lost again. The Saudi consulate was about to return, the same trust was about to prove a death trap for them. During this time, a secret team of 15 people is prepared under the leadership of Brigadier General Mahmoud, a special man of Mohammed bin Salman, to kill Jamal Khashoggi. In which a doctor named Lieutenant Colonel Salah al-Tabaji and a person who looks like Jamal Khashoggi in appearance, Mustafa al-Madani, was also there. Mustafa al-Madani was chosen so that he could be used as a body double. He could be used as a body double. The plan was clear that first Jamal Khashoggi will be killed inside the Saudi consulate and then Jamal's clothes will be worn by Mustafa al-Madani and sent out of the consulate. This will make it seem in front of CCTV and spectators that Jamal has come out of the consulate alive. In this way, the Saudi authorities would have had the opportunity to say that the murder of Jamal Khashoggi did not take place in the consulate and Saudi Arabia could not be held responsible for his disappearance. In this way, after all the preparations were made, these people were killed on October 2 at 3:13 am. A private jet from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, reaches Istanbul. After this, everyone is divided into two groups and enters the Saudi consulate separately. Here, one team's job was to kill Jamal Khashoggi in the consulate, while the other team's job was to bury his body. As soon as he enters the Saudi consulate, all non-Saudi employees are sent home at 12 noon. Meanwhile, Jamal Khashoggi calls the Saudi consulate in Turkey at 11:50 in the morning and confirms once again that his documents are ready or not. He is told by the consulate that his documents will be ready by 1 o'clock in the afternoon and then he can take them. In this, Jamal Khashoggi sends his family to the consulate. At 12:42 p.m., Jamal Khashoggi and his fiancée Hatice Cengiz take a taxi near their apartment and leave for the consulate. There, the murder had been planned and now the plan was being revised. Saudi officials were talking about how many pieces of the body will be cut after the murder of Jamal and how those pieces will be packed separately and placed. In the meantime, at about 1 p.m., Jamal Khashoggi and Hatice Cengiz leave for the consulate. They reach the gate of the consulate. Meanwhile, Mahmoud, present in the Saudi consulate, asks someone on the walkie-talkie that the animal to be sacrificed, has it arrived? On the other hand, the answer is yes. As soon as the green flag is received, everyone is ready for their work. They thought that they would be saved by killing Jamal, but they did not know that the Turkish intelligence had planted bugs in the consulate and all their conversations were being recorded. Khashoggi consulate, an unusual precaution is taken. He gives his mobile phone to his fiancée and says that if he gets too late to return, he should immediately call the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's advisor Yasin Atki. These words were a sign that there was a danger in Jamal's mind somewhere, but still he had made himself understand that they enter the building of the consulate and enter the gate at 1:14 am. As soon as they enter the building, the Saudi officers start attacking them like a bloody animal. To make them unconscious, anesthesia and drugs are given. Jamal Khashoggi tries his best to escape, but his courage is given in front of the crowd. After this, those people strangle Khashoggi, which makes Jamal feel bad, seeing them suffering. The merciless people there start laughing loudly and make fun of them. In the midst of these cruel thugs, Jamal Khashoggi's body starts to calm down. He barely manages to escape. I can't breathe and his life is lost in a short time. now Jamal Khashoggi's body was lying on the floor and the Saudi officers start working to fix his body. During this time, all the limits of humanity are crossed. Dr. Tabegi plays fast music and wears headphones and starts filling the black plastic bags by breaking the dead body. Meanwhile, General Mutrabe receives a call from Saudi and the person on the other side asks if Jamal Khashoggi is alive. When General Mutrabe says yes, the other person cuts the phone telling everyone to get out of there quickly. After the packing of the body, Jamal Khashoggi's body double, Mustafa al-Madani, wears the clothes of Jamal Khashoggi and has a fake beard like Jamal. After this, he comes out of the consulate and starts going around the streets so that all this can be recorded in CCTV, and then later it could be shown that Jamal Khashoggi had left the Saudi consulate safely. On the other hand, Hattai Singh, waiting outside the consulate, is quite anxious not to return to Jamal for several hours, because Jamal had also given his phone to Hattai Singh, so she calls the consulate's number. But the call does not pick up. After this, she runs to the consulate's gate and asks the guard about Jamal, who tells hearing this. Hattai Sengiz gets scared and talks to the Turkish president advisor Yasin Atki and many big Turkish officials in case of an emergency. When the Turkish officials contact the consulate, they get the answer that Khashoggi has already left from their famous journalists at in this case. The Turkish investigation team begins to investigate the truth with the help of their bug in the Saudi consulate. They find two important evidences in the investigation, from which their hands and feet were blown. The first is surveillance footage, in which on October 2nd, 15 people from Saudi were seen entering the consulate, including a Saudi forensic doctor and a top security officer. Second, the audio recordings inside the Saudi consulate line by line. There were some cutting sounds in the recording and the voice of Ari was also heard. In addition to this, the talks of the Saudi officials were also recorded, which clearly showed that these officials have killed Jamal Khashoggi in the consulate together, but in the footage, a place, Jamal Khashoggi, the same person, was seen walking outside the consulate. In this, French officials also doubt that Jamal Khashoggi is alive, but when they go deeper into the matter, they find out that this man was not Jamal Khashoggi, but his body doubled. In this case, on October 9th, the Turkish authorities confirmed that Jamal Khashoggi has been killed, which was committed by 15 people who came from Saudi. On October 2, in addition, some people were seen coming out holding suitcases and plastic bags in the video footage. Therefore, the Turkish investigation team also says that after the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, his body was cut into pieces from the Aryan, filled in suitcases and plastic bags, and taken out of a black Mercedes. The Turkish authorities even said that they're the Saudi royal family who had ordered to kill Jamal Khashoggi. A few days later, when a television channel of Turkey, Haber, the Saudi Arabia consulate in which some people were seen taking suitcases and large black bags from the consulate. During this time, Turkish investigative officers were constantly asking for permission to enter the consulate from Saudi Arabia, but they were not getting permission. Finally, after 13 days of murder, that is, on October 15th, Turkish forensic specialists were allowed to enter the consulate. But after a lot of investigation, they did not find the body of Jamal Khashoggi from the inside. And nor did they find any important clue related to the murder. How could it be found? The people of Saudi had completely cleared the place of the incident. When the Turkish team entered the consulate, the whole building smelled of chemicals, the balcony was bleached, while new paint was sprayed on the walls. When the CCTV recordings inside the Saudi officials were asked, it was said that all the CCTV cameras inside the 2.it was clear that all this was made up. Audio recordings, video footages, television channel Haber's photo telecast and the investigation of Turkish officials. Now all the talks were almost open. At the international level, Saudi Arabia was being heavily defamed, Western media was constantly raising questions, and from the UN to the US Congress, the pressure of accountability on Saudi leadership was increasing. Without looking at any chance of escape, after a long absence, Saudi Arabia also Jamal Khashoggi was killed in his consulate. He said it was a disease operation, that is, some uncontrollable and very excited people did this work and the government had no involvement in it. After this, Saudi Arabia also pretends to do justice to save its reputation in the eyes of the world. 18 people are arrested in Saudi Arabia, and then in January 2019, on the other hand, Turkey had given a copy of the audio and video footage to the UN and the American intelligence agency, the CIA. On the basis of these, in June 2019, the UN issued a Special report of 101 pages, the biggest conclusion of which was that the murder of Jamal Khashoggi was a premeditated murder. The UN clearly stated that this operation, but it was carried out with the knowledge and approval of the Saudi state machinery. The UN also told Saudi Arabia that for this murder, the role of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's criminal investigation should be carried out because the people involved in the operation were directly connected to their inner circle. In addition to the UN, the CIA also accepted the hand of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. CIA was handed over to Mohammed bin Salman, and a phone call was found between one of his assistants in which Mohammed bin Salman was talking about forcing Jamal Khashoggi to return to Saudi Arabia. In the call, he says that if he does not agree, then bring him with a bullet. Which was clear that the killers of Jamal Khashoggi were members of Mohammed bin Salman's inner circle. In this, the CIA said in its report that the plan to kill Khashoggi was being made for a long time and Mohammed bin Salman had a big role in it, but at that time, there was Donald Trump's government in America and he had a very good friendship with Mohammed bin Salman and he was dealing with Saudi for several $billion. Therefore, the American government never officially accepted the investigation of its intelligence agency. On the contrary, Trump defended Mohammed bin Salman and said that as long as the crime is not proven, the man is considered innocent. In this case, the biggest tragedy is how the crime will be proven. The one who is accused is the court, the accused is also the judge. How can justice be obtained in such a case? But in January 2021, when Joe Biden became the President of the United States after Trump, the attitude of the United States changed in this case. In February 2021, the Biden government declassified the CIA classified report and made it public, in which it was clearly stated that the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman himself approved the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. After this, the United States passed the Khashoggi ban, under which visa restrictions and sanctions were imposed on such officials in Saudi Arabia and other countries, which were included in targeting journalists and dissidents. Accordingly, many Saudi intelligence officials and travel bans and such restrictions have been imposed on the operatives. However, even after bringing the truth to the world, America has not taken any strict action against Saudi Arabia because of its personal interests, nor has Mohammed bin Salman's hair been curled. Justice was not received, but the smoke of justice was filled. In December 2019, the Saudi court sentences 5 of the 11 arrested people to death for the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, while 3 are sentenced to 7 to 10 years in prison. 3 people are released from this case. But what happened next was even worse. A few days after 5 people were sentenced to death, Jamal Khashoggi's son Sullah Khashoggi suddenly appeared and he publicly said that his family had killed him. Jamal's family, the father of the victim, has forgiven the accused. According to Saudi law, the father of the victim can forgive the criminal. Therefore, the death sentence was stopped in this case and the punishment of all 5 accused was changed to 20 years in prison. Later, reports revealed that Jamal's family and son had taken such a decision under the pressure of Mohammed bin Salman. According to reports, all 4 children of Khashoggi were taken to the hospital. Multi-million-dollar houses and monthly 5-figure payments were given as compensation. Jamal Khashoggi's fiancée, Hadi Senghis, reacted to justice, but a drama in the name of justice. According to them, the real culprits were never brought to the court and the purpose of the entire process was to suppress the case. Despite all this, Jamal Khashoggi's body could never be found, although various claims have been made from time to time. In 2019, Al Jazeera released an investigative documentary on the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, in which it was shown that Jamal Khashoggi's body was burned in an oven made in the Saudi consulate for 3 days. According to another claim, Jamal Khashoggi's body was taken to a consulate officer's house and burned. The truth is still behind the curtain. But what is absolutely clear is that the murder of Jamal Khashoggi was not just the death of a-man. It was the exposure of the system where Jamal Khashoggi's body was found. The law is different for the most powerful people, and to suppress the truth, power, money and fear are used. This was an example of how justice often loses in the face of power and truth is not accepted even when it comes out.